So today we are going to put together one of these closet-made cabinets that you can just pick up at Home Depot or your big box stores for a pretty cheap price. And a lot of people are always asking me, well, what's the difference between those type of cabinets and what a cabinet maker would make? And this breakaway right here shows the main difference between a cabinet-made cabinet from a cabinet shop compared to one of these cheaper ones from the big box or Home Depot. They actually don't use ply, they use this particle board. And if you know anything about this, anytime any moisture or anything comes to this, it's gonna blister up, balloon up, and it's gonna be completely ruined. Where plywood, you'll have a little bit more time and a little bit more durability out of it. Also, you can see that they had to drill in, put a dowel in here, and they also put these screw plugs in, and then tried to glue this to the front. This is actually the front of the drawer. And you can see the glue completely gave free. One reason is because this surface is laminated, so the glue can't really adhere very well to this. And then also, right here on this face, shows the particle board, which is going to absorb some of that glue in. So you really have to be careful when you're putting these together. We're going to go ahead and we're going to fix this drawer for one of my friends. And then we're just going to put together this cabinet. It's just going into a friend's garage, so and he asked me if I could put it together real quick for him, and I figured why not make a video out of it so you guys can see it. All right, let's dive in. All right, so out of the box, you got all your hardware, screws, hinges, everything like that. You got your instructions with the part list, and then you got your material here. You got a couple of doors, two sides, top, bottom, and an adjustable shelf in there, as well as the mounting. But you can see they printed what piece goes to where. So we got the two fixed shelves and an adjustable shelf in there, as well as, I'm assuming these are the two sides down here and the two doors. Okay, so the first step that this is telling us to do here is actually to add the hinges onto here. So we'll want to disconnect these hinges, which we can figure that out in a little bit. But you want to make sure there's two sides. There's the finished side and unfinished side. And this finished side is going to be what's going to be facing out towards the front of the cabinet. And then the adjustable shelves are going to be the inside, and these with the screw holes will be for the outside. And it is saying to actually just put these hinges screws directly into the shelf peg holes. There's actually two extras on each of these sides, so it's actually a nice little way to check to make sure you have the right side. You can see you got the two extra ones on top, none there, but you see this is the unfinished side, finished side, so a nice little checker there. Make sure you're putting them in the right place. But it looks like all they do, they're gonna just screw right into there. So I get my screwdriver. Now I will tell you one thing to keep in mind when you're putting these in. I would not use a power drill. I would just use this standard screwdriver, because you don't want to over torque these, especially with this particle board. You can easily strip out these holes with a power drill, especially an impact one. So I'm just going to come in here and just use my hand screwdriver and attach these just like so. Now the screws are somewhat adjustable, so if you need to adjust this height here, you can, once we get the alignment of the doors corrected. So and there should be a pin to release this. Looks like we just loosen this back screw. Yeah, that's gonna do it. Yeah, it'll pop right out. So. just to show what I'm doing, to remove the cup from the mounting hinge, we're just removing, not fully removing, just loosening this back screw just enough so it'll come over that back lip. And then there's just a peg on the back holding it in there, as you can see, so it should just slide kind of right out. That one we removed a little bit too much, so I'm gonna go ahead and put that back in there. Okay, so for this next part, we're actually going to attach the cups now to the doors. And all the screws come in one big pack, so you're just going to want to try to find these little guys. And once again, use a screwdriver, not a drill, and put these guys in. Now for the next part, we're going to want to take our number 8 screws, not these ones. I believe these will probably be to anchor it to the wall, but these ones here. And we're going to take those, and there's 2 holes here. So when these get, we're going to put a bead of glue down, stand these up, and then those adjustable, or the fixed shelves, not the adjustable one, but the fixed one, it's going to come right here, and we'll be able to put the 2 screws on each side there. It doesn't call for it, but I'm probably going to throw some clamps on it too when we're all done with this. You can use like basic wood glue. Like I said, this is going in the garage. I don't know what they're putting in here. But with it being particle board, I want it a little bit stronger, so I'm going to go with Type Bond 3. It's a waterproof glue. Holds up to exteriors, so in case you get extreme heat, extreme cold, it shouldn't affect the bond of the glue itself. But you could just go with Type Bond 1 or 2 as well, or just whatever wood glue you use in general. But we're going to want to make sure that we got a nice good bond here, so you want to make sure that that surface is covered completely. And then if you get squeeze out from the glue, don't worry about that. That actually means that you coated the surface well enough. And we're just going to come back with a damp rag and just wipe it off. So I know everyone's always worried about glue squeeze out, especially on this laminated surface. It's going to be easy to just clean that glue right off. All right, so we smoothed out the glue on all these joints. And we're going to want this bottom exposed to the outside and this portion to the inside, the small holes, as well as the finished side pointing upward towards the outside of the cabinet. Didn't put that one fully in yet. We're going to start the bottom one now, and then we can tighten both down. Now that that's done, we're going to want to get access to the back. We're going to want to put in our mounting strips. So, let's see. And then just to make sure, this top one, you're gonna want this 45, because this is actually French cleat style. So this will go up against the wall, and then you just take your cabinet and slide it right down, and it holds it into place. So this is the top one. We're gonna wanna go ahead and fix that right here. We're gonna add glue to all the sides. And then the bottom one is just straightforward. It's got the finished side though. You want the finished side up. Once again, we're gonna add glue, put it right in here. And then we're gonna bring screws down, 2 from the sides, 4 on the top, so. Now we're going to do the base one the same, but we want to make sure that that finished edge is up, and then that way all the particle is hidden. Alright, so last thing we're going to do is we're going to take these little stickers. I'm just going to pop them right over the screw holes. Alright, before we attach these doors to the cabinet, I got them flat and everything like that. You can see there's the spot to put the handles on. So once we just make sure that we have both doors laying where we want it, and they give you 2 options, either putting it on the top or the bottom. We're going to put them on the bottom here. That's why I want to lay these 2 doors so I don't end up with one handle here and one handle way up here. So we want them kind of book matching. So we're just going to drill the rest of the way through these pre-drilled holes. When you go to do that, you want to put a piece of block wood here so you don't get any blowout from that. And then that will help you get a nice screw hole. And then we can easily attach the handles to the door. Okay, so this one, according to directions, takes a 3/16 bit here. So just double check though yours to make sure it's the same. See, with that sacrificial piece, when you come through and screw through, you got a nice finish. You won't blow out this at all. Now that we got those holes drilled, now we're actually going to position the doors properly. Now you can do this actually, majority of the time you would do this after you hang the cabinet. I just want to make sure though it's all set and ready to go. So I want to lay the cabinet with the back side down and the top towards that direction, away from me. start with the left door. Slide it into the brackets. Slide pretty easy. Shut the door. Make sure we got it nice spaced out there. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna tighten that inside screw. Now we're gonna slide the other door's brackets in. Like so. Open the door that we already had tightened down. Now we can gain access. We can tighten those screws inside there. And once you get your cabinet up on the wall or here, to close this gap, see we already started on the top, but we closed it here, but there's still, we had to close on there. We're just gonna use that front middle screw and you just tighten it down. Tighten it down. Should be good. We need a little bit more on this one here. So we get a nice little close here. So, all right. Now it already came with the handle hardware. I have 4 screws for that. These are just going to insert through the back and then attach the handle like so. Last but not least, you'll have your adjustable shelf pegs. You place those where you want. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. So let's go 7. All right. And then your adjustable shelf just comes in. Now you can see these cabinets actually don't have a back to them. So where they kind of save a little bit on their cost too. But if you need a cabinet for a garage or something like that, you know, it's all right. Like I said, it's particle board. It's not going to hold up for the long run. And it's not going to hold a lot of weight because of the joints that are made like that. There's no dados really or anything like that. There's a small, very small rabbet here, but not much at all. So if you're looking for something that's going to need heavy duty or something like that, I would recommend, you know, spending a little bit more money. But for just simple storage in the garage, you know, for a couple bucks, it's not too bad.